decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's Weather, live now.
Hi, everybody. 12:33. We've got the severe thunderstorm warning now in place for Smith County. Things continuing to rather noisy out there. We haven't seen anything tornadic yet, or more than the kind of the general severe weather criteria of strong straight line winds, I think, in this particular instance. We'll get in here on the radar. A lot of thunder going on in the city of Tyler right now, this line, and thunderstorms in general over the past about 15 to 20 minutes really have begun to ramp up across the immediate Smith County area. Here's a radar loop kind of showing you that stuff really blossoming and moving into Tyler. And a pretty good line of storms now, which goes back up to near Holly Lake Ranch. Weather Service went ahead with a broad and understandable severe thunderstorm warning for that line. Again, the potential there for the straight line winds seems to be the main concern with it. And we've got severe thunderstorm warning until 1:15, and that's going to cover Smith County as well as southeastern Wood, southwestern Upshur, southwestern Gregg. For that 60-mile-an-hour wind potential and up to quarter-sized hail. I've seen some small hail reports so far this morning or late this morning and during the early afternoon hours. I guess that was late morning. Yeah, back near Chandler. Pea size is about the biggest I've seen or heard of, at least. I haven't seen a picture of it, but I was told of that from some folks earlier on. And so that's kind of where we are on the hail front. Didn't expect hail to be a huge piece of this equation. Expected it to be wind. Been talking about that for a couple of days now. And so hopefully you are prepared for that. But besides the heavy rain and the wind, obviously the lightning is getting a lot of folks' attention. And that happens during the lunch hour when a lot of folks try to get out and do what they can on an hour's break during the middle of the day. So if you do see anything of severe nature, feel free to relay that to me. I can keep up with some of these comments here right now. Kim, thanks for checking in. Big Sandy, pretty crazy outside there. Understand that. And Patty, yeah, husband headed to Mount Pleasant. All right. Well, my wife was coming back in from Canton here earlier on, and it pulled over out near Ben Wheeler to let the storms pass through. But again, the main concern is going to eventually, I think, for the western counties, become more of become a flash flood threat. I think across that part of the region, we've had some hefty rainfall across Henderson County, Van Zandt County earlier on from these storms, which were more or less kind of developing and just raining over that same area for quite a good piece of time. Here's the kind of a still image. We'll kind of line you up on where the heaviest and the most impressive activity is right now. Thanks, Jason, for checking in from Lindale. Heavy rain there. Yeah, you're on the back end of that particular pocket, I think, in Lindale, though, Jason. So hopefully that'll help you some. But again, heaviest of the rainfall right now. Let's get a little tighter in here on Tyler first before we do that. So there we are. Heavy rain kind of bisecting the city of Tyler from northeast to southwest. Not as heavy here on the south side of town where I'm at off Old Jacksonville, but heavier as you move progressively towards downtown and get on the north side of town, North Loop, Pine Springs, and that area going up 271 or 69 towards Lindale. And our Swan, moderate to heavy rainfall at the airport right now. There's the icon for the airport. There's Tyler Pounds right there. Chandler still got moderate to heavy rainfall where you guys are at as well. And again, this line, really this cluster kind of stretching back to the northeast. So here's why the warning was issued for Smith and Upshur and Wood County. There's no real severe weather in the Quitman area or the bulk of Wood County, but the warning box does just clip that southeastern piece of Wood County, Holly Lake Ranch, back to the south. Another storm that we've been watching here for the last little bit is this guy near Ore City. Had some decent looking rotation on it. You're welcome, Sherry. Decent rotation on it earlier on. Let's look at the velocity product. We'll see if we can pull that in here. and try to make out if there's much cooking in that. Hopefully it'll populate here. Yeah, so some pretty good wind potential there. Southwest of Ore City, just north side of Diana right now. Let's see. Let's put this on. Yeah, definitely could be some 40 to 50, maybe 60 mile an hour winds there near right there along Highway 259, north of Diana, south of Ore City. So you've got winds here. When we're looking at the radar, we're looking at the velocity products, or we're looking at winds that are blowing anything in red, blowing away from the radar side in Shreveport, anything in green blowing towards the radar side. So there is some broad rotation there. But no tornado warning issue. These things have been showing rotation and then seems to dissipate. At least that's been the trend so far over the last couple of hours. Thanks for checking in, Tyler, Harry. Appreciate that. So that's another thing that we're going to keep the eye on here for the next little bit. So let's pull out real quick and kind of reset the table. Severe thunderstorm warning now for folks in Smith County, as well as southeastern Wood County, southern Upshur County, Gilmer. You're not included in the warning right now. You got a hefty storm moving off to the east of you, and some pretty hefty rainfall off just to the west of Gilmer along 154. So do keep that in mind, and a lot of lightning in there regardless. They are going to clip east or western Gregg County in the warning near Gladewater. That's kind of the eastern end of the warning. Longview, you're not in that at this time. Hey, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys watching the Good Shepherd. The storms continue to fire up back to the south. Folks in White House, you had some hefty rainfall here a couple hours back and some lightning. That has since all scooted off, but this stuff will come through and probably just going to kind of clip, maybe just clipping White House. See if I can get a loop to run up here real fast. Tell you what, let's do this here. Let's flip over to radar scope real quick. And make a couple of adjustments here. Now this will populate Smith County. Seems to run a little better on loops. So there's kind of that general movement. Looks like overall intensity has come down a little bit across Smith County. Just looking at the reflectivity here. Doesn't look quite as bright. You don't see as many of the reds concentrated there over the city of Tyler as you did earlier. Thanks for watching from a long view, Melissa. Appreciate you guys watching over in Harrison County too, Logan. Harrison County right now, man, looking okay. No warnings for you guys, just some moderate rainfall across the western part of the county. But that will change in a little bit. Down towards Troop, some folks asking earlier about southern, southeastern Smith County. Troop, you're just barely outside the polygon for the severe thunderstorm warning, but you've got some moderate to heavy rainfall from near New London back south east of Troop and on towards Jacksonville. Thanks, Leo, for that, getting some wind in Lindale. Okay. So Jacksonville area, you're seeing some pretty decent lightning in there as well. That stretches back over towards New Summerfield. Nothing severe in any of this, but the lightning's enough to get folks' attention. And some hefty rainfall back up north as well. Henderson County, Lisa, for now, you guys are looking okay in Henderson County. I tell you got a lot of rainfall that's come down in that area of late. To get back onto, I was looking at that earlier. In fact, just posted something here a few minutes ago. If you missed it, let's see if we can pull that up here. Here we go. So this is a representation of the last 6 hours worth of rainfall totals that we've seen across the area. And these are from private weather stations. Some of them are NWS stations. But if you look over here into western Henderson County, you can see kind of where I've brought the opacity down. Let's see if I can keep this from jumping so much. But you can kind of make out the darker red shading there, indicating where the heavier rain. You can see that kind of that banding from southwest to northeast. So some heavy rainfall, over 1.5 inches in a lot of spots over western half of Henderson County. So, and also that heavier rain swath kind of eases through southeastern Van Zandt County near Ben Wheeler, where we've seen several kind of waves of that stuff come across, showing 1.67 inches out here in western Smith County. I'm not sure about that, but I guess it does kind of line up coming right across Chandler and getting out. I think that may be a private station that's showing that. But regardless, it paints the right picture that the heavier rain has been across the western counties so far. But that is changing as we continue to heat things up this afternoon and bring more energy to bear, and the ability for these storms to be able to kind of fire and fill out, so to speak. Hey, thanks, Catherine. Appreciate you watching from Rusk. Really appreciate that. And thanks for the kind words. Starting to pick up in Carthage, Kerry. Okay, good. Thank you for that, man. So let's get back to radar real fast. Again, we've got several counties under severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warnings, though, right now. So it's 12:45. We've got the storm back up near Ore City, which we've been watching for a bit. This came across and came off the east side of Gilmer. Had some decent-looking rotation in it earlier. Now it looks as much of a wind producer as anything else there near Ore City. About to get on the east side of the highway there, and so that will ease over into I believe that is Marion County. Yeah, that'll be western Marion County. The bright green showing that the winds are blowing towards the radar side in Shreveport. And then those are red colors indicating where the winds are blowing back away from that radar side. So we will always want to pay attention, number one, where we've got anything real bright, the bright shading showing the stronger winds versus the lighter shading back up here towards Lone Star. You can see the color table gets much less impressive or vivid, and so that indicates lower wind values there, showing 20 to 25. But notice what happens when we get into this area near Ore City, showing 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. Now, not all this is going to be getting to the ground, but if even a half of it does, it's still a pretty good blow at the surface. So that's why we want to pay attention to that. We don't have a ton of winds blowing back in the opposite direction, so it doesn't look as impressive as it would if there were if this thing was spinning more. You'd have much stronger winds blowing away, and that would indicate potentially maybe potential for some tornadic development there. Getting dark in Lufkin, huh, Terry? Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that at all. So that storm there, crossing over into Marion County, extreme northwestern Harrison County, and then the storm that we're working with across Smith County continues to have a pretty big piece of real estate involved in a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that's going to be running until, let's see here, 1:15. Hey, George, thanks for checking in, man, from Judson. Appreciate that. So we're running till 1:15 on the warning for again, Smith County, southeastern Wood, southwestern Upshur, southwestern Gregg County for the 60 mile an hour winds and potentially some quarter-sized hail, although I haven't seen anything as far as hail out of this thing just yet. Looks like Weather Service is issuing something new, though. All right, so the Weather Service is going to go with a new warning. They're going to kind of just take this thing further downstream and include Marion County. I think I saw Cass County in there. Let's see real fast. 47, yeah. So they're going to include now Marion County, southwestern Cass, northwestern Harrison, north central Gregg, severe thunderstorm warning until 1:30. So that will be, see if I can get this to come out just a tad. So that'll be basically for this cluster of storms from just south of Lone Star over near Avenger down to Ore City, and then back down to just north of Longview for that potential for some strong straight line winds in there. You can see where this is. It makes sense even looking at it on the reflectivity. You can see the much stronger looking signature there, the brighter reds and oranges. And then that wind threat really, really pronounced, like we were talking about here a few minutes ago, near Ore City. But the additional stuff back to the south, back to the west. A lot of lightning in Judson. Yeah, I bet so, George. Thanks for that, man. Lost electricity 30 minutes ago in Titus County. Yeah, sorry about that, Susan. Thanks for watching from Titus County, though. We appreciate that much. So again, wind is the main concern here. I haven't seen anything resembling a tornadic signature on the radar, which is obviously great. But as we've learned here over the past couple of weeks and this spring, it doesn't take a tornado to do quite a bit of damage at your place. We've had a number of wind damage reports here this spring in areas that haven't previously had to deal with too much of that, at least on a widespread basis. Folks in the Azalea district of Tyler, the wind damage we had in White House earlier this year, which unfortunately caused a fatality there when I believe a tree fell on a gentleman in his trailer. So, lacking the tornado potential does not mean we lack things that we need to keep the eye on. So, do want to kind of reinforce that as we go through the afternoon here. Stronger storms again back south in towards Troop, Jacksonville, over to Gallatin. Some moderate to heavy rainfall there. As you get south, southern Smith County down towards Bullard, Cherokee County, no warnings at this time. Rusk County, you're just kind of, I think you guys are actually not within a severe thunderstorm warning at this point, but this thing down from New London on down to New Summerfield will be interesting to watch and see if the Weather Service decides, if it continues to organize. I wouldn't be surprised if they will go ahead and put something together for Rusk County, kind of watching the wind try to organize somewhat down this far to the south. But at least at the moment, you guys in Rusk County are not involved in that. Hey, you're welcome, Joseph. Thanks for being a part of this, man. All right, so we're 12:53. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for folks in Smith County, although the worst of the weather is now getting to the east of Tyler, we'll say east, southeast side of town, where the stronger storms continue to be at. Tyler back west, rainfall seems to be diminishing quite a bit. So good news there. I've had 9600s here at the real estate office on Old Jacksonville since midnight, and so we're glad to have that. After we get this today, that's really it as far as rain goes for several days. And if you've been following the morning updates that we do, I think we'll be into the 90s this weekend, and records for Tyler at least are going to be in jeopardy for Mother's Day and potentially well into this next week. So after we get this, not going to be much help as far as rain goes for quite some time. So we'll soak up as much as we can right now. Glad to be here, Jordan. Thanks, man. So let's see here while we have a second. So the Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center, they're going to maintain their enhanced severe weather risk for this afternoon. That really is being driven by the potential for the strong straight line winds. There's their wind probabilities for this afternoon. The hail probabilities are in there, but the overarching thing that's kind of driving this is the potential for that those strong straight line winds this afternoon. Tornado potential is there. It's kind of lurking. It's not a big classic tornado day with the fact that we've got these storms that are having to more or less kind of fight amongst themselves. And when you've got storms, it doesn't matter how strong they are, when they've got to battle equally strong storms, it's hard for one to really stick out, stand out, and be able to produce the kind of severe weather that it would were those storms out alone by themselves. And so that helps to keep the at least the large tornado potential usually down from what it would be on a day when we had more isolated individual storms that have all of that energy that they can share, that they don't have to share, that they can basically hoard for themselves and feed off of and grow. We always, on days like this, look for storms that can be set up out away from the larger complex. And at least right now, this stuff is pretty well congealing into one large mass, which is good. The tornado watch box, again, we haven't talked much about that, so let's do visit on that here for a second. So we'll get back here. We'll go to we'll just pull back on SPC for a second and go to their watch box. So here are the counties. Basically, all of East Texas is involved in the tornado watch box. I know maybe it's a little hard to read on this, but just take my word for it. The I-30 counties, there's Cass County, Morris, Titus, Franklin, Hopkins, and then everybody south of there, down through Lufkin, Nacogdoches, Sabine County, St. Augustine County, Shelby County. So those deep East Texas, and even the counties back further south, Trinity County. This goes all the way down to Austin, and then just kind of runs in that southwest to northeast fashion. You're welcome, Lindsay. Glad to be here. Glad you're here. Wade says he's got inch 80 south of Gilmer. Man, that's a good number, Wade. Thanks for that. All right. So folks asking about Kilgore, so we'll hop back into Kilgore and get into northern or southern Gregg County, extreme northern Rusk County. Just looks like moderate to heavy rainfall Kilgore right now. I don't see anything too concerning there. This cluster still getting itself going. Overton back over to ARP, east of Troop now. Heaviest of the rain is east of you guys. Henderson, no warning for you yet. We'll see if the Weather Service opts to change that. But at least right now, they have not decided to. But the rain will be picking up in Henderson over the next few minutes as this stuff kind of moves in from the southwest. Summerfield getting a lot of rain, a lot of lightning in this as well. Overton pouring. All right, lost power in Overton, Gale. All right. Inch and a half, Mount Pleasant. Okay, thanks, Susan. Appreciate that. So, folks further south of Appleby, Nacogdoches County, Angelina County, you guys are just clipped inside of that tornado watch box. It doesn't include all of the county per se, but the Weather Service went ahead and included the entirety of the county, even though the SPC box doesn't cover quite that far to the south and southeast. But we'll watch these showers that are trying to get going back over into Houston County. Notice how stuff just trying to blossom, just looks pretty innocuous at the time, but that's the way this kind of stuff starts. I think we're probably going to end up with a large mass of showers, kind of all coalescing into a big batch of rainfall that's going to be just kind of sweeping across the area from southwest to northeast. The Weather Prediction Center, which is an arm of the Weather Service, they issue products related, a lot of different products, but one of them is related to flash flood concern. And they had outlined pretty much all of East Texas within their slight risk for flash flooding today. And so they were seeing I think the indications of what we're talking about here with this stuff just kind of evolving into a large mass of heavy rainfall. Over an inch north of Longview, less than an hour. That's pretty good rain, Sarah. Thanks for that. So as it stands now, we've got just a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Nothing tornadic. Yeah, Lisa, I understand. It'll make you kind of leery after going through something like that. Yeah, he did talk a little bit about Lufkin, Nancy. Not much going on in Angelina County right now. You guys will have to wait for this stuff to develop a little bit further to the south, but the showers are doing that right now. So nothing Lufkin to be concerned with at this time, although you guys are in the tornado watch box that goes until 6. So let's see here. All right, so the Weather Service does not expect that they will include or that they will extend this warning for Smith County for these storms that are over Smith County, eastern Smith County right now, due to kind of a downward trend in the intensity over the last little bit. So that's good news there. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. Hey, thanks, Tim. Thanks for being on here, man. But they looks like they're going to hold back on issuing further downstream, so that would mean no warnings coming for Kilgore or for Henderson, at least at the moment. But that'll be something to watch. And as far as velocity, let's see here. All right, some warnings out west of us, but nothing for us here in our immediate area. So, thanks, Kathy. Thanks much, Misty. No problems in Nacogdoches right now. No problems in Nacogdoches County. Period. A lot of lightning still in there, though. And let's look at this stuff down south. Watch how this kind of starts to blossom. See these guys down there, east of Palestine, west of Alto. Nothing severe there, but I think that's what we're going to see, kind of a sign of things to come from a rain standpoint. But yeah, things really calming down in Tyler proper, and rainfall intensity still pretty high across the eastern half of the county, Chapel Hill, and folks going out 64, going out 31, I-20, moderate to heavy rainfall there just east of Winona, but that's going to all continue scooting off to the east. Bath Hallsville, not much going on in the Hallsville area right now, that Harrison County, but we've got heavy rainfall and pretty good lightning and wind headed in your general direction. So you guys are going to see things pick up quite a bit in Hallsville and that piece of the county here in the next half hour or so. So hopefully that helps out some. Let's see here. All right. Storm in Waco, Chris. All right. Well, thanks for watching from Waco. First off, appreciate that. Angel Dangerfield looking okay right now. Not a ton going on. Just more of a rainfall, moderate to heavy rainfall situation as opposed to anything else. Yeah, Gail, a lot of lightning in the Overton area. But you're just about on the back end of that. So hopefully that's some consolation. Up to 9,700s here at the office. So 106 right now. Severe thunderstorm warning still in place for Smith County, although the storms have moved well east of Tyler. But the eastern part of Smith County and adjacent, just extreme western parts of Gregg County, you guys still involved in that warning, and in a position where you could still see some, or still are seeing some pretty heavy rainfall and the lightning in there as well. But the bigger wind concern is probably going to be on the leading edge of this line versus parked back or tucked back further to the west. On the back end of it, I don't think as much there. Checking in on Canton, Marcella. Let me see here. Let's look back to the west while we have a minute. So to do that, we're going to need to pull up the Fort Worth radar. There we go. So you can see back to the west of us, there's a lot of stuff still firing. And so this is not a done deal, even though the rain is decreasing in intensity across Tyler and Smith County. There is plenty more where that came from, back to the west. And you can see that stretching all the way back down to near Killeen, just north of Round Rock, which lines up pretty well with the tornado watch box. That's the red box here on that kind of, you'll kind of see that on the screen, but it correlates nicely to where that box is at. When does the train wreck end today, Mary? Well, it'll end this evening, probably 5, 6, 7 o'clock. from west to east. It'll just kind of, we'll wrap it up and get the rain gradually out of here by the middle of the evening for the extreme southern and eastern counties. So, but like I said earlier, take the rain while you can get it, because you got plenty of heat coming behind this. So that's something to keep in mind as we go forward. So again, nothing going on from Dallas back to the west. Nothing really in Fort Worth. I think I saw someone asking about getting from here to Dallas now. I mean, you can make the trip if you want to. The rainfall will be something you're going to have to battle all the way, to Terrell probably. If you're just now leaving Tyler, this stuff will continue scooting off to the east, and once we get that front through here, that'll end the rainfall potential. But if you do have to head to Dallas, just know you're going to be battling rain, hit and miss from here most of that way, if that helps any. So we'll take it here for a few more minutes, probably till about 1:15, and if nothing else comes out between now and then, I'm going to probably step aside here for a bit. We are under a tornado watch. Be out, that runs till 6 o'clock. The watch box includes the watch box. Here's what the watch box looks like, which goes all the way down to I-35. Includes pretty much all of the area. So we're back at the Shreveport side here. Again, the biggest severe weather producer right now is going to be this stuff right here. From south of Atlanta, back on down to near just west of Tatum, on to Henderson. And we'll watch for some stuff trying to organize on the south end of that. Fortunately, I haven't seen much that's really been causing problems. No big individual cells firing out ahead of this main line, which, as we talked about a few minutes ago, is good, because that stuff that can fire off by itself and doesn't have to share any of the energy with surrounding storms can sometimes or oftentimes become a bit stronger than stuff that has to kind of fight in the feed sack, so to speak, like these. Let's see here. All right, Weather Service issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning now. So they're going to go ahead and pretty much blanket the. They're going to pretty much go in here and blanket some additional counties that I was just highlighting right there. So we'll dive in a little bit deeper on this. And again, these are the storms kind of on the south end of this complex. So this warning will include Longview. So severe thunderstorm warning until 2 o'clock. Looks like 60-mile-an-hour winds is their main concern in this, which, makes perfect sense to me. And maybe some quarter-sized hail. So, again, new severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2 o'clock. Does include Longview, Kilgore. That's Henderson. That's Mount Enterprise. That's Carthage on the east edge of the box. And for this, minimal severe weather criteria is 60 miles an hour. And so that's what they're issuing for and expecting the potential for production of. So we'll run that officially until 2 o'clock. That'll just clip western or eastern, northeastern Cherokee County. Doesn't include Jacksonville, but it will barely miss New Summerfield. So there's Highway 79. So coming right out of New Summerfield along 79, you get inside the southwestern tip of that box, and then back over towards Mount Enterprise and these areas that have not really been affected too much so far. But again, 60-mile-an-hour winds and the potential for a little hail. I haven't seen much hail. I haven't seen really any hail production out of this thing in the last well over an hour. But that's a that's something that is always possible, but was never really looked at as the primary driver of severe weather today. It's looked like for several days now that the wind was going to be the bigger piece of this, and so far that seems to have panned itself out. So we'll continue to kind of hang here and graze for a bit. Tyler, you're fine. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning officially for Smith County. I think that goes until 1:15. Yeah, 1:15 for Smith, Wood, Upshur, and north southwestern Gregg. But this new box here will take place of that. The severe weather's really moved out of pretty much all of Smith County. So there's our new box here. Sometimes I forget that a lot of you are watching this on a phone, and so it's hard to see the screen. So I'll try to give you some updates and some verbal cues as I can. More of these showers, like we talked about a few minutes ago, down towards Crockett, into Houston County and southern Cherokee County. Just kind of firing at will. There's nothing to stop them. We've got a lot of air that's running in off of the Gulf. A lot of moisture being drawn in northward, and so the environment is ripe down here for this stuff just to gradually expand. So all that warm, moist air just shovels in from the south. Sorry, no power there in Overton, Gale, man. Sorry about that. Things are slowing down though there, and they will continue to kind of slow down here as we go through the next little bit. Looks like Weather Service in Fort Worth issued a tornado warning down here near Mahia, so that's west of 45. That's not affecting any of our area, but that's a sign that there is more severe weather potential back to the west. There's that severe thunderstorm warning near Corsicana. Pretty good storm over near Athens right now. So let's look at that here for a second. All right, so let's do this. Let's look at this for a second, especially this thing out near Athens. So some decent wind potential in this thing near Athens. Sub severe, but still pretty good little gust just north of Murchison, back down to near Athens. And then this storm back near I-45 near Corsicana. Decent wind on the front end of that. And then there's a storm down near Mahia. So they're looking at this area right down here east of Mart for some, looks like really broad rotation. Doesn't look as impressive as some you might have seen. Yeah, see right there, those last couple of frames. Yeah, that makes sense. Back that up a little bit. See this broad or this brighter coloring here. So that's why they issued that warning. It looks like it may have lost a little steam though, which is good. That's still a ways to the south and west of us though. Heavy rain in Athens. Yeah, Brian, I'm not surprised to hear that, man. Thank you. You're welcome, John. Thanks for stopping in, man. It's no fun to go live if there's no one to talk to. So thanks for being here. Yeah, you might even have a little bit of hail there on the north side of Athens. Here's Highway 19 going south or going north out of Athens towards Canton. So yeah, it could be a little bit of hail there, just north of the loop. Nothing too creepy otherwise, though. So at 119, we have in the last few minutes cleared some counties. We cleared the Smith County warning out. So let's get back over to Shreveport and update you on what's going on now. So this line looks like Weather Service just now issuing a new warning that's going to cover the rest of Marion County and the extreme south and southeastern parts of Cass County, south of Atlanta. Got some friends living out there now. So here's Highway 43, runs north-south. So the new warning will cover this stuff back out near Linden. It's pretty obvious where the concern would be at. Right there along the leading edge of this. And then this stuff just all continues to shoot east. Okay. Jefferson got some hefty rainfall in there right now. Yeah, I probably will. There will be probably some intermittent clearing spots there in around the area, Laura. So that doesn't sound as odd as you might think. So, folks up Atlanta, Queen City, you're on the you're going to be on the northern edge of this more impressive band of thunderstorms that's moving across, but you will get some heavy rainfall that far north here shortly. Things are almost trying to bow a little bit, or at least there's a little pudge there. So Longview, you guys are in the midst of it right now. Thanks, Rosanna. Appreciate it. Hefty rainfall, Longview area right now. Severe thunderstorm warning does include the city of Longview and everybody east, Hallsville, down to Carthage, Henderson, Mount Enterprise. You guys all involved in that. The biggest of the severe weather threat is going to be right on the leading edge of this line as it comes through. Okay, that's where the better wind production is going to be at. Once you get behind that initial surge, it becomes much more of a heavy rain and some ponding, some nuisance flooding, things like that behind it, where the rain just continues to fall at a pretty good clip. Just got heavy in Queen City. All right, Ashley, thank you. But this looks much more reminiscent of a straight line wind event than anything else. See how these strong winds blowing in towards the radar site at Shreveport. Remember, we're looking at this in relation to what's going on down at the Shreveport radar site, okay, which is right there. You can see my cursor. So if it's blowing towards Shreveport, it's going to have a greenish coloring to it or some derivative of that, the light blues, things like that. If it's blowing back to the other direction away, it's going to have a red color to it. So you can see how this is all pushing in that direction, one direction versus moving in opposite directions in really close proximity to each other, which would show that there's something there that could be more of a problem. Yeah, another clearing, somewhat of a clearing occurring there from Bullard back towards Jacksonville. So let's see here. We got 124. And a lot of the same thing that we had 20, 30 minutes ago with straight line winds being the main concern here. Tyler getting a respite right now. There's more, though, back to the west. You see that stuff out near Murchison, Athens. And then some lightning strikes out, even out away from this rain. A lot of lightning production today. So the Weather Service is going to continue that tornado warning out near Mahia. If you got folks out that way, I would bet they are hunkered down. Let's look at that again real fast and see what we can make of that. So here's I-45. There's 14. It's north of Groesbeck. See what the velocity. Yeah. Just southwest of Mahia. Not just a gruesome looking velocity couplet, but still some decent rotation there. Almost make out that hook right here. Kind of that little right in there. That's how it's rotating. So there's still plenty more to come. And I would expect all of this to gradually coalesce into a large mass of rainfall. And just continue to kind of expand in coverage, and it'll swing right across. So while we've got a break for some parts of Smith County, maybe just nothing more than some drizzle or whatnot, that will change in the next little bit. Places like Palestine and Frankston, who've been kind of lacking in the rain for a bit, you guys will pick things back up in intensity over the next hour or so. So back to Shreveport. Again, our latest warning, one of our latest warnings, that severe thunderstorm warning for these counties here, from Longview back down to Henderson on over to Timpson, including Carthage. That goes till 2 o'clock officially. 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-sized hail potentially in that. And then similar scenario over of Cass County and Marion County, watching this line continue to push to the east. Here's your best severe weather concern right here, just about to get into Marshall. Probably into Marshall now, based on the fact that this data is going to be a couple of minutes dated. Hey, Jillian, thanks. Appreciate that. So as you continue kind of scooting to the east, that's going to be where the bigger concerns for wind will be at for the moment. But this will eventually push out of Marion County and Cass County in the next probably 20, 25 minutes. Marshall, you'll be clear of the worst of this stuff here in the next 15 to 20 minutes as well. Henderson, you got some good rain coming into town right now from the southwest, and that'll continue for probably 25, 30 minutes. If this stuff down south doesn't develop further, which it probably will, and it'll help to keep the rain going a little bit longer. Stuff down towards Crockett, Groveton, Lufkin still missing out on the rain for the most part. Airport's on the south side of Lufkin, so you might have thrown a little bit in the gauge there, but not much yet. But that's coming. Tornado watch box again, if you're just now hopping on, runs until 6 o'clock officially. You can see the box there kind of in that reddish outline. So it includes pretty much, we'll call it all of East Texas. At least all the counties are included in the watch box from the Weather Service. The Storm Prediction Center's box didn't quite extend over into Sabine County, but they went ahead and included it in the actual in the box from Shreveport's end. Hey, thanks, Mary. Thanks for watching from Lake Fork. I appreciate it. So 1:30 now. Nothing tornadic. Looks like we lost one of the warnings. That was impacting, I guess that would have been western Marion County. So we've managed to trim that out. So we've got this little piece here approaching the Texas-Louisiana line east of Jefferson near Uncertain, Scottsville, that area of Wascom, extreme eastern Harrison County along I-20. Longview, you guys are just about out of the you're out of the heaviest of the rain. This one little finger kind of coming down just on the west side of town, but nothing too bad. Most intense stuff right now looks to be down towards Henderson. It seems to be where the better lightning production's at. Each of these little markers indicates a single strike of lightning. So there's a lot of it down Henderson, north and west of town. Not as much to the east, but that'll change. Maybe even a little bit of hail. I think that's probably maybe some pea-sized, maybe penny-sized hail there crossing 64 on the east side of Henderson, going back towards Tyler. That's east of 42. Haven't seen a ton of hail, though, today, as we talked about earlier, but didn't expect to see a lot of it either, so that's not really a surprise. New Summerfield, got some hefty rainfall in your area right now. Jacksonville, good amount of rainfall kind of there on the southeast side of town. Arcing back northeast. Russ got some moderate rainfall east of you. Alto, pretty quiet, but some showers coming up out of your southwest. So just give it a few minutes and you'll get some rain in your area too. Thanks, George, man. Appreciate that. So tell you what, I'm gonna, with nothing new really firing up, I'm gonna take a few minutes here, and we will continue to post stuff on as we need to. Um, we'll post radar imagery and whatnot. If some stuff that's more intense begins to develop, then we can always come back in and talk as we need to. But I do thank you very much for hanging out with me here this afternoon. Hopefully, it was helpful. And if nothing else, we will talk to you guys as we do during the morning hours, about 7 o'clock or so, with a 7-day forecast that will have a lot of heat involved with it as well. So you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Again, we will talk more as we need to.
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.